Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am your host, Rashida McFerren, and today in the Rich Auntie Life series, we are talking about gold, the commodity. But before we get started and talking about what's going on in these market streets, I want you to head over to Rashida.ai and grab your Manifesting Millions freebie so you can get started on your journey to becoming a millionaire. Then I want you to come back over here for the next 10 minutes. And I was watching financial market news earlier. I'll say it like this: because everybody is basically scared that we're going or heading into a recession or are in a recession. Because look, I don't know about you, but the past 4 years have been such a shock to my system as far as inflation is concerned. I've been feeling like we've been in a recession for the last 2 or 3 years already. But watching a financial interview probably less than 5 minutes ago and listening to the senior head talk about why people are rushing and putting their money into gold, because gold is always the safe and secure choice when it comes to investing. And gold is up to like 3,300. That is a record. Truth be told, I don't know that gold has ever been that high, but I'm going to do you a solid and pull it up and see what the charts say. So actually it's down $200 today. As of April 22nd, which was last week, gold had hit $3,500 per ounce. That is a historic high for sure. This is the first time it's ever been this high. Wow. That means everybody is basically throwing their hands up in the air, taking their money and running into this asset like saying hit the deck. Literally. You notice I have quiet pauses because you'll see some things in your financial career that'll just make you stop and be like, wow, that is literally almost double the price it was 2 years ago. And the reason people are running to gold or traditional commodities is because they are always the safest to put your money into. Like, gold is a physical product. You can actually buy the product and store it somewhere off of the shore of Switzerland or wherever you want to secure your assets. Here's the reality: I can understand people running and putting their money in gold because, hey, of course, hey, when everything else hits the deck, this is not financial advice, but I am a very conservative investor when it comes to my money, with the exception of me branching out into crypto over 6 years ago. I still believe that crypto is the wave of the future. That is not going to change. It is digital gold, as they say in the crypto community, and it will continue to be digital gold as we build this new frontier of whatever it's going to look like for financial markets. Because whether you are accepting it or not, life has changed for us and it's going to continue to change. The way we do business will change. The way we transact with each other will change. It is going to change. It is much easier for you to accept the fact that things are changing because that is the reality we're seeing. If you've learned nothing else by witnessing these last 100 days, especially with President Trump being in office again, change should be a part of your vocabulary like on a daily basis, because it will continue to get more chaotic. That's the reality. Like, what we are witnessing in history right now, and I never speak on historical events, but what we are witnessing is the crumbling of old systems and the rising of new ones. And the beautiful thing about that is that in these markets, this is where money is made if you know what to do with your money. That is an absolute fact. Instead of you panicking about what's happening, you should be taking my course and figuring out how to invest with your family's money so that 10, 15, 20 years from now, you can look back and say, man, I'm glad I did that. Because that's what my ancestors did. My ancestors can look down on us 4 generations back when they were buying land as Black men and women in the 1800s after Reconstruction. Like I said, like, I'm from some OGs. I don't know how else to say it. They can look down the line now and say, I'm glad I invested like that because of what I did. They can look down the line and see how it's benefited our family. Not everybody benefits from it, but depending on how you consider receiving inheritance, sometimes receiving inheritance is not necessarily a monetary a monetary value with something, a physical item. Sometimes the inheritance that you receive is having the beauty and the gift of being in the presence of someone for extensive amounts of time and picking up lessons that you don't even know that they're imparting on you and that you won't see come into fruition until you get to your 20s, 30s, or 40s. I still have moments of, wow, I see why they were doing that then in my modern day life and thinking about my grandparents and being around them so much when I was growing up because my mom was at work and my dad was gone, wherever he was gone, child. But anyway, investing in gold is a safe choice. That's why everyone is doing it. In crypto, like investing in Bitcoin is the safe choice because Bitcoin, even though it's not the fastest utility token that can process the most transactions, what people have found with Bitcoin is that it's safe for them. That's why they continue to invest in it, which makes sense. Like, I'll give you an example. The reason Ethereum has struggled so much during this market run is that, so number one, the gas fees on Ethereum is so expensive. They're so expensive. And people are probably tired of spending their money to be on the network just to pay their money to manage stuff on gas fees. And so you start to think, like, why would I put my coin on here? So if you think about crypto from a utility perspective, Ethereum is kind of like the App Store. It's a DeFi app store. Like, think about it like that. And if I want to release a dApp, a decentralized app that is going to give my customers the ability to do something in crypto, and I have to pay to get on the network. And then in the process of being on the network, I have to continue to pay maintenance fees. At some point, any businesswoman or man is going to ask, is there a more efficient way to do this that will cost me less money? Because every businessman or woman doesn't like being charged out the wazoo. One of the reasons they've struggled so much during this last market run is that people are tired of them. And I'm a fan of Ethereum, but there are better products that do the job faster and that do the job cheaper on the market. And so you kind of got to ask, because we are in such new territory when it comes to the crypto landscape, will Ethereum be around? Because it could be one of those situations where, remember MySpace? Where's Tom now? Tom sold his company for $50 million and got out through a deuce, and then Facebook took over. And then, unfortunately, Facebook has been dominating since then. Child, we stuck with them, yeah. But it gives you an example, an early example of you don't necessarily know who's going to be the last man standing. And even with crypto, it won't necessarily be a last man standing. You don't know who the key players will be at the end of the day. Even the banks are starting to pull out of projects because they can't figure it out. And so I think what will start happening with a lot of the projects is institutions will come in and start buying out projects and taking them over. Then the question will become, is it really still DeFi if a formalized traditional institution owns it? That's a good question. So, what are you doing with your money? That is my question to you. What are you doing with your money in this possible recession? How are you investing it? And I'll tell you, like I told my sister, my nephews who are like in their 20s, you can afford to put $5 in Bitcoin every paycheck if you ain't got no money. Come on, y'all. $10, $20. That coffee that you go buy, that's 7 Brew or Dutch Brothers. Because it's literally like $8 to get a coffee at either one of those places. What if you bought coffee every day, so every other day, you took the coffee money that you had and put it towards purchasing a little bit of Bitcoin for 2 days? What is that, $15, $16 a week? Say the coffee is $8. You put it in Bitcoin. You ain't got to do nothing else to it, for right now at least. But what if you put it there and just let it sit and see what happens? Now, are you going to become a millionaire off of putting $16 in Bitcoin? No, you are not. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. In order for you to become a millionaire in a coin, you have to be able to spot that coin before it pops off and invest in it. It's timing. It's timing and technique. Timing is everything. So, what are you doing with your money? Are you still listening to all the financial naysayers on the financial news? I sit up here and watch this stuff while I'm working, and a lot of it is just people talking about what they think is going to happen. And the reality is, nobody really knows. You can make educated guesses on what will happen in the market, but nobody really knows until it happens. If you're paying attention to what Trump is doing, he's trying to drive stuff off a cliff and then rebuild it. He wants to be known as the Golden Age King in America. So hold on to your shocks because we are just getting started. God help us all. I wanted to talk about the fact that gold is at an all-time high of $3,300 today. It's down $200 for the moment. The question is, will gold reach $4,000? I know what I'm about to do. I ain't been paying attention to gold as much because I didn't really get into trading gold until 3 or 4 years ago when my nephew hit me to the game, and then I started paying attention to it a little bit. Back then, my response is like, yo, who trades gold anymore? That's so old school. But sometimes, in moments like these, old school is what works. Tradition is what works. I just popped on real quick because I wanted to talk about the price of gold, where it's going, where the markets are. What will happen, no one knows. But please don't let fear of change keep you from investing in yourself and your family. And if you don't know how to invest, that is what I am here for. Go over to my website, Rashida.ai, click on the banner that says $1,000 off for a current offer. And we have at least 4 offers on my page that cater to your specific situation. And they're priced from $999 all the way down to $99 for the time being. Because I know stuff needs to be affordable, so I made it affordable. My normal prices for my whole course with my cohort is usually $19.99. And it will go back to the regular price, but just not for right now. I want to get the information into the hands of as many people as I can, and now is the time for you to start learning. You can take what I've learned in 19 years and learn it in a month. Now, implementation is another story. It's going to take you more than a month to implement all the strategies and stuff that I'm teaching you. It's going to take time. That's why I teach you slow and steady wins the race. If you have not already done it, head over to Rashida.ai and grab your Manifesting Millions freebie. And then, if you've liked what you've heard today in this podcast, please share it with a friend or leave us a 5-star review. In the meantime, that is all for today's episode. I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.